Hi students, welcome back to our class on the play The Merchant of Venice. Today we are going to learn the 8th scene of Act 2. In scene 7 we have seen that the Prince of Morocco is selecting the casket and he has failed in his attempt and is leaving from Portia's house. That's what we have seen in the previous scene. And now scene 8, again we come back to Venice, a street. In Act 2, Scene 6, we have seen that the masquerade has been cancelled. Towards the end of the scene, Antonio is giving the information to Graciano that no more masquerade will be held and Bassanio will be going to Belmont as soon as possible since the weather is favourable. So such things taken place towards the end of 6th scene. And now Scene 8, again Venice, a street we can see, and Salarino and Salanio are there in the scene. They enter. Salarino, why man, I saw Bassanio under sail, with him is Graciano gone along, and in their ship I'm sure Lorenzo is not. Okay, they are communicating about a particular thing. So I have seen that Bassanio and Graciano together, they are going to Belmont. I have seen them. So in their ship, surely Lorenzo was not there. Lorenzo was not there along with them. Bassanio and Graciano were going to Belmont together. Salanio, the villain Jew with outcries raised the Duke. So the villain Jew, we know, Shylock, with his outcries, with his cries, loud cries, he made the Duke awake. രാവിലെ തന്നെ ഡ്യൂക്കിനെ പോയി അദ്ദേഹം എഴുന്നേൽപ്പിച്ചു. Who went with him to search Bassanio's ship. So in the night itself they set forth towards Belmont, Bassanio and Graciano together. And Shylock, when he came back to his home, he had seen that Jessica has gone and he knows about the things. He has some guess about the things, and he went to the Duke, made him awake and went in search of Bassanio's ship. അപ്പോൾ അവരുടെ കൂടെയാണോ പോയത് എന്നറിയാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ബസാനിയോയുടെ ഷിപ്പ് അന്വേഷിക്കാനായിട്ട് ഡ്യൂക്കിനെ വിളിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് വന്നു. Salarino, he came too late. The ship was under sail, but when he came there, the ship has already gone. The ship was under sail and he was late there. But there, the Duke was given to understand that in the gondola were seen together Lorenzo and his amorous Jessica. So there, the Duke and Shylock, they were together. They came there in search of the ship of Bassanio, but they were late. The ship has already gone. But there, the Duke was informed. He asked there, inquired there, and he got the information that they have gone, but Lorenzo was not there together with them. And in a gondola, pleasure boat, flat-bottomed boat, a pleasure boat that is used in Venice. Venice is pleasure boat. So gondola were seen together this Lorenzo and his amorous Jessica, amorous beloved. So these lovers together, somebody had seen them in a gondola. So they gave the information to the Duke. Besides, Antonio certified the Duke they were not with Bassanio in a ship. And along with that, Antonio also certified, promised, guaranteed to the Duke that Lorenzo and Jessica were not there with Bassanio in the ship. So ബസാനിയോട് കൂടെ ഇല്ലായിരുന്നു എന്ന് അന്റോണിയോയും പറഞ്ഞു. അത് മാത്രമല്ല, വേറെ കണ്ടുനിന്ന ആൾക്കാർ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട് ഗോണ്ടോലയിൽ ഒരു പ്ലഷർ ബോട്ടിൽ ഇവർ രണ്ടുപേരൂടെ പോകുന്നത് കണ്ടിരുന്നു എന്ന്. Salanio, I never heard a passion so confused, so strange, outrageous and so variable. So I have never heard a cry like this. ഇതുപോലെ ഒരു കരച്ചിൽ ഞാൻ ഇതുവരെ കേട്ടിട്ടില്ല. It is a confusing kind of cry, a strange and outrageous. So it is all these feelings are there, mixed, outrageous, wild or violent, and so variable. Variable means changing. So anger is there, frustration is there, disappointment is there, so helplessness is there. All these feelings together, and strong rooted enmity, hatred, anger, everything is there in those cries. So ഈ കരച്ചിലുള്ള ഈ മിക്സഡ് ഫീലിങ്സ് ആണ്. അത് ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കും. ദേഷ്യം, സങ്കടം എല്ലാം കൂടെ മിക്സ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു കരച്ചിൽ ഞാൻ ഇതുവരെ കേട്ടിട്ടില്ല. ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു കരച്ചിൽ എന്നാണ് പറയുക. ആൻഡ് as the dog Jew did utter in the streets, and he is uttering like as a dog Jew, they are expressing their hatred towards him, and he's uttering, he's saying in this, crying in the streets, aloud in the street. തെരുവിൽ ആളിങ്ങനെ കരഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് നടക്കുകയാണ്. My daughter, oh my Tacats, oh my daughter, fled with a Christian, oh my Christian Tacats, justice the law, my Tacats and my daughter. So he became mad actually. My daughter, my മോളെ കുറിച്ച് വിലപിക്കും, അതിനുശേഷം അയാൾ നഷ്ടപ്പെട്ട പണത്തെക്കുറിച്ച് കരയാണ്. സോ ഇങ്ങനെ മാറി മാറി രണ്ട് കാര്യത്തെക്കുറിച്ച് അയാൾ ഇങ്ങനെ കരഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. മൈ ഡോട്ടർ, ദെൻ ഓ മൈ ഡക്കാർഡ്സ്, ഓ മൈ ഡോട്ടർ fled with a Christian. That's another disappointment. She had gone with a Christian. So he not only lost his money, he has lost his daughter also. And another thing is that her daughter has run away with a Christian. So all these things adds what his disappointment. And oh my Christian ducats and my money which I earned as a profit from the Christian people here. That's why he called it as Christian ducats. So Christian ducats എന്ന് വിളിക്കുന്ന ക്രിസ്ത്യൻസിൽ നിന്ന് ഏൺ ചെയ്യുന്ന മണി എന്നാവാം, or the money that he has made there in Venice from the Christians. That's what he means here. Justice the law, my ducats, please help me to get back my ducats and my daughter. A sealed bag, and he is now counting what all losses he had. എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് നഷ്ടങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടായെന്നുള്ള കൗണ്ട് ചെയ്യാണ്. A sealed bag she had taken. No, not as one sealed bag, two sealed bags of ducats. Yeah, actually two bags she had taken of double ducats, not single ducats, double ducats were there in those bags. So ഒരു ബാഗ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു, പിന്നെ again he is correcting, thinking and correcting. No, two bags were there and bags of ducats. No, not single ducats, double ducats were there, and stolen from me by my daughter. Actually my daughter has done all these things to me. She has betrayed me. She had stolen everything from me. And jewels, two stones, two rich and precious stones, and also jewels she had taken, and two precious stones, not just stones, precious and very rich stones she had taken from me and stolen by my daughter. All these things are taken from by no one else but by my own daughter. And justice, find the girl. Please help me, the law, help me to find my daughter. She had the stones upon her and the ducats. She has taken the stones and the ducats along with her. Help me to find her. Salarino, why? All the boys in Venice follow him, crying, his stones, his daughter and his ducats. So Shylock is on the streets and crying like this, my daughter, my ducats, like this, and the boys, street boys are all following him. അപ്പോൾ ഇത് കണ്ട് രസം തോന്നിയ സ്ട്രീറ്റിലെ ബോയ്സ് എല്ലാം കൂടെ അയാളുടെ പുറകെ കൂടിയിട്ട് ഹിസ് ഡോട്ടർ, ഹിസ് ഡുക്കാട്ട്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് അയാളെ അയാളുടെ ക്രൈസിനെ റിപ്പീറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് കളിയാക്കിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ് അയാളെ. ദെൻ സെലാനിയോ, ലെറ്റ്സ് ഗുഡ് Antonio look, he keep a stay. Let Antonio keep his day. That means Antonio should give the money back on the day promised itself. So ആ ദിവസം തന്നെ അന്റോണിയോയ്ക്ക് അയാളുടെ വാക്ക് പാലിക്കാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കട്ടെ, പണം തിരിച്ചു കൊടുക്കാനായിട്ട് പറ്റട്ടെ. Or he shall pay for this. So he will be, now he is a hurt dog, he is a pained dog. So he will be paying for all this. ഇതിനെല്ലാം പകരമായിട്ട് അയാൾ റിവെഞ്ച് എടുക്കാനായിട്ട് സാധ്യതയുണ്ട്. So he should be paid for this. So Antonio should be careful about giving the money back on the day promised. And Salarino, Mary, well remembered, Holy Mary. Mary means Holy Mary. On Virgin Mary they are promising, oh thank God you made me remember one thing, you remembered me something. I reasoned with a Frenchman yesterday. I talked with a Frenchman. ഒരു ഫ്രഞ്ച്മാനെ ഇന്നലെ ഞാൻ കണ്ടിരുന്നു. Who told me in the narrow seas that part the French and English. ഇപ്പോൾ ഫ്രാൻസിനെയും ഇംഗ്ലണ്ടിനെയും തമ്മിൽ പാർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന narrow seas, it is the English channel mentioned here. So the narrow seas, the English channel that separates southern England from northern France, that is mentioned here as the narrow seas. So in the narrow seas that parts the French and the English, there miscarried, there wrecked a vessel, a ship of our country, richly fraught. So a ship that is richly loaded, richly filled with a ship that is filled with precious goods, richly loaded ship has been wrecked in the English channel. So somebody, a Frenchman I have met yesterday with, and he told me about this thing, that a ship has been miscarried or wrecked in the English channel, and which was of belonging to our country. നമ്മുടെ രാജ്യത്തിൻ്റെ ഫ്ലാഗ് ഒക്കെ ഉള്ള ഒരു ഷിപ്പാണ്. That means it is our country's and a richly loaded ship. So I thought upon Antonio when he told me. So when he told me about the ship and things, soon I remembered about Antonio, because it looked like almost his ship. So and wished in silence that it were not his. And I prayed actually in silence. I wished, I prayed to God that it should not be belonging to Antonio. So Antonioയുടെ ഷിപ്പ് ആവരുത് എന്ന് ഞാൻ ആത്മാർത്ഥമായിട്ട് ആഗ്രഹിച്ചു. And Selanio, you were best to tell Antonio what you hear. It is better to tell Antonio what you heard earlier in advance. So ആദ്യമേ തന്നെ അന്റോണിയോട് പറയുന്നതാവും നല്ലത്. Yet do not suddenly, but remember, don't say it suddenly. പെട്ടെന്ന് എന്ന് പറയരുത്, for it may grieve him, because he cannot bear with that. So you have to just be patient enough and inform the thing to him, but you have to tell it to him. Salarino, a kinder gentleman treads not the earth. A kinder man like him will never live on earth. So ഇതുപോലെ ഒരു കൈൻഡ്നെസ് ഉള്ള ഒരു മനുഷ്യൻ ഈ ലോകത്ത് വേറെ ജീവിച്ചിരിപ്പുണ്ടാവില്ല. സോ നോ വെയർ സച്ച് എ ജെന്റിൽമാൻ ക്യാൻ ബി ഫൗണ്ട്. ഐ സോ ബെസാനിയോ ആൻഡ് ആന്റോണിയോ പാർട്ട്. I have seen, I was there along with them when Bassanio was leaving Venice. So Antonio, in their departure time, I was there along with them. Bassanio told him he would make some speed of his return. So Bassanio promised Antonio that he would come back as soon as possible. He will make speed of his return, and he answered. But Antonio replied to him, "Do not so. Please don't do so. Slubber not business for my sake. Please don't slubber, spoil your business for my sake. For me, don't spoil your affairs, your matters. You have to carry out your things and give priority to your matters." That's what he said. And Bassanio, but stay the very ripening of the time. You have to stay there as long as possible, as much time is needed. So stay there as a ripening of the time. That means when the time is ripening for you, good for you, favorable for you, you have to stay up to that. അപ്പോൾ പെട്ടെന്ന് കയറി കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ തീർത്ത് പോരാൻ നോക്കരുത്. Sometimes you will be failed in your attempt in your affairs. Show patience there. You have to wait there and take your own time to fulfill your dream. സമയമെടുത്ത് കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ ചെയ്യുക. And for the Jews born which he hath of me, let it not enter in your mind of love. So your mind should be engaged in love now. Not the bond, neither the bond between me and Shylock, and nothing like that should enter into your mind of love. You should be engaged in love. Only love must be there in your mind. And these things that are going on here, the bond, the forfeiture, penalty, fine, such things should not be enter into your mind. അതിനെ കുറിച്ചൊന്നും ആലോചിച്ച് വെറുതെ വിഷമിക്കാൻ പാടില്ല. Be merry, you have to be happy, and employ your chiefest thoughts to courtship and such fair oceans of love. So you have to engage. Employ means engage your chiefest thoughts. Your supreme thoughts must be what? About courtship and such fair oceans of love. Courtship means romance. You have to think about romance and such fair oceans, fair ways, such beautiful ways of love. You have to think about love, romance, and how you have to fulfill the ways to express your love to your beloved. That are the things you have to engage with. Employ your supreme thoughts in that. Don't bother about മീതറിനെ കുറിച്ച് ചിന്തിക്കരുത്. നിങ്ങളുടെ പ്രയോറിറ്റി ഇപ്പോൾ ഇത് മാത്രമായിരിക്കണം. And even there, his eye being big with tears, and by the time he was saying this, his eyes became big with tears. കണ്ണുനീര് നിറഞ്ഞിട്ട് കണ്ണിങ്ങനെ അയാൾ വലുതാക്കി ഇങ്ങനെ പിടിക്കുകയാണ്, കണ്ണീര് താഴത്തേക്ക് ഒഴുകി വരാതിരിക്കാൻ. I was witnessing that. Who is saying this? Salarino says all this. So I was there, I was seeing all these things. His eyes became big, filled with tears, and turning his face, and he tried to cover it from Bassanio. He turned his face. He put his hand behind him, and he turned his face and gave the hand to Bassanio. He put his hand behind him. He gave the handshake, shook the hand of Bassanio without giving him the face, because his eyes were filled with tears. Put his hand behind him, and with affection, wondrous, sensible, beautifully filled with a feeling that is filled beautifully with love for him, he wrung Bassanio's hand. He held the hand of Bassanio, but he didn't give his face because his eyes were filled with tears. And so they parted, and that was how they parted from each other. And Salanio, I think he only loves the world for him. എൻ്റെ അഭിപ്രായത്തിൽ അയാൾ ഈ ലോകത്തെ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടുന്നത് ബെസാനിയോ അതിൽ ജീവിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു എന്നുള്ളത് കൊണ്ട് മാത്രമാണ്. He loves this world only because Bassanio lives in this. And I pray thee, I request you, let us go and find him out. It's better to go to him now, because I think he needs, if he is in such a trouble, surely he will be in need of friends like us. And quicken his embraced heaviness with some delight or other. And we have to quicken his embraced heaviness, the disappointment, the sadness that is embracing him, that is hugging him now. We have to soften it, we have to make it to with some delight or other. We have to quicken it, we have to erase it with some delight, some happiness. We have to make merry with him, we have to make him entertained, and we have to make him forget about the disappointment. Salarno, do we so? Yes, let's do so. And they exhumed. They are going in search of Antonio.